this is the most recent vivid dream that I can recall that I think I'll never forget. And this happened maybe 3 or 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and it's a dream that it's the only dream that I've ever had that in the dream I've been aware that I was in a dream, and and not only was I aware that I was in a dream, but in the dream I was able to make a theory about what was going on in that dream whilst I was dreaming. As I found that kind of amazing when I woke up and I reflected on it. So the dream just basically begins with me in a kind of a grassy field. The kind of location I was in, I suppose, was kind of suburban America. It feels like it's again something that I'm sure I've seen in a film. Lots of space, big house, lots of grass, trees in the distance. Not just slightly wooded areas, but and there was neighbors, other houses, but they weren't right next to one another. We had a good 100 meters between houses, and it felt like it was summer. It was a cool day. Maybe still morning. There's a breeze flowing through the air, so all the leaves, big trees, lots of leaves and grass, all just moving. It was a really beautiful day actually, and there's a feeling that you have when we've all had it when we were kids, and that feeling of summer, just endless summer, and just really being present in the moment. I was really present in that moment in the dream. And I remember looking at this house, and I just assumed it was my house. I didn't question it at the time. I just knew that was my house. And although this is not a location that I'd ever been to, it wasn't a house that I've ever lived in. So it wasn't me, but in the dream, it was mine. So I walked towards the house, and I looked over to one side and over to my left side, and I saw my neighbors. There was a yoga, some sort of yoga or Pilates or some sort of exercise class going on in my neighbor's yard. And again, it was a sort of thing. There wasn't really any fences, and there was a lot of space between houses. That this whole place was just like, it was I guess quite a nice sense of community, and it was a warm sort of place. So there's some sort of exercise class happening over there, and I keep going. I just walk towards my house, and I get to kind of the back entrance of the house, and it's all quiet. I don't really hear any activity going on. It feels like a lazy kind of Sunday, morning sort of a thing, late morning. And I'm walking around towards the back entrance of the house, and before I get into the entrance, but the back door, there's like a little sunroom sort of a space where there's glass that divides this back entrance area from the backyard. And I remember walking past, and I saw myself in the reflection of the glass of this sort of sunroom space. And what the face looking back at me was, I suppose, a 12-year-old boy, this white boy, brown hair. Just a kid, just some kid. And I remember looking at this kid and going, wait, that's not me. And I thought to myself, well, I've clearly my consciousness has gone through some sort of portal, and I've been transported into the body of this other person. And I'm observing his consciousness. It didn't, in that moment, it didn't occur to me that this was just a dream. I remember being in the dream thinking to myself that, well, actually, I'm asleep, and on the other side of the planet, people are awake, so somehow, a portal is opened, and I have been transported into this boy's consciousness, and I'm observing what he is living. It felt real to me. I thought in the dream, maybe this is what deja vu is like, and when you have when maybe this little boy is having a deja vu, and in his deja vu, my consciousness has attached itself to it, and he's aware that something different is happening. He doesn't know what it is because it's a deja vu. You know when you have it, but it feels a bit odd. So he knows something's not quite right. And I'm asleep. I'm having a dream. So I know something's going on in my brain. So I just felt like there was some sort of portal connected us both. So I looked at myself, this little kid, and then I went into the house and I walked in through the kind of the first floors, a two-story house, and walked through the dining area into the kitchen, and I watched the boy's mum, as my mum, I suppose. She was cooking and just not really paying attention to me, and it was just the whole feeling of the dream was just really normal. Again, you're a kid and you've got free time and everyone's just going about their business, and maybe you don't really know what you want to do. You're feeling a little bit restless. No one's really paying attention to you. You just got the day to yourself, and that's how I felt in that moment. So I didn't say anything to my mum, and I went upstairs and I went to run a bath, I think, or someone was having a bath, and then I woke up, and that was it. Actually, that was all that happened in the dream. It was really mundane. It was really everyday. Nothing exciting happened apart from the fact that that feeling that you have as a kid, that afternoon running around in the park, just being aware of time and space, and being really connected with it. That was the feeling of that dream. And I woke up feeling refreshed and feeling really quite happy, because I think as we get older, you lose that feeling. It's harder to get in touch with that feeling. So to really have lived it in that dream was amazing. And yeah, I think I still think that it wasn't just a dream. It was some sort of connection with another consciousness on this planet somewhere, and I haven't had a dream like it since, so it's quite unique.